Thanksgiving was supposed to be safe. That's what I told myself as I stood in front of the bathroom mirror that morning, smoothing down my sweater and practicing a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. Thanksgiving was one of those holidays everyone pretended meant family, warmth, forgiveness. For me, it had always meant endurance. I'm Emily Carter, 27, eldest granddaughter, the one who should know better, the one expected to absorb tension like a sponge and never drip. I had learned early that in my family, silence was survival. Still, nothing prepared me for what my grandmother would do that day. Grandma Aliner's house sat at the edge of a quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio, white siding, trimmed hedges, the kind of home people slowed down to admire in autumn. Inside, it smelled like roasted turkey, sage stuffing, and the kind of nostalgia that made you forget how sharp words could cut. The dining room was already full when I arrived. My parents were there, Dad stiff, Mom fluttering around like a nervous bird. My younger cousin Lily scrolled on her phone. My aunt and uncle argued softly near the kitchen island. And at the head of the table sat Grandma Aliner, spine straight, silver hair pinned back perfectly, eyes sharp as glass. She ruled this family with tradition and guilt. "Emily," she said when she saw me, voice sweet in that way that always felt rehearsed. "You're late." I checked my watch. I was 5 minutes early. "Traffic," I said gently. She hummed, unconvinced. I took my seat halfway down the table, close enough to be seen, far enough to not be questioned. That had always been my strategy: be present, be invisible. The meal began politely. Turkey passed, compliments exchanged. Small talk floated above the table like harmless smoke. But under it all, I felt that pressure, that waiting. Grandma Aliner didn't explode without a fuse. To understand why my stomach knotted that day, you have to understand my role in this family. I was the responsible one. When Grandpa died, I helped Grandma sort paperwork. When Lily dropped out of college, I lent money. When my aunt needed a babysitter, I canceled plans. I never complained. I never asked for thanks. And somewhere along the way, that turned into expectation. Worse, it turned into entitlement. 2 months before Thanksgiving, something went missing. Grandma's emerald ring. It was old, valuable, a family heirloom passed down through generations. She wore it every Sunday, every holiday, every important dinner. Until one day, it vanished. I remembered the phone call clearly. "Emily," Grandma had said, her voice trembling, not with fear but accusation. "You were here last week." "Yes," I said slowly. "I helped you organize the attic." "And you saw the jewelry box." "Yes." Silence, heavy, deliberate. "I'm sure it will turn up," she finally said. But something shifted after that. Her tone cooled, her smiles sharpened. Family group chats went quiet when I replied. I felt eyes on me at gatherings, weighing, measuring. I knew what they were thinking. She had access. She's always here. She needs money, doesn't she? I told myself it was paranoia. I was wrong. Halfway through dinner, just as my uncle raised his glass for a toast, Grandma Aliner set her fork down. The sound was small. The impact was not. "Before we continue," she said, voice cutting through the room like a blade, "I'd like to address something." Everyone froze. My chest tightened. Her gaze locked onto me. "Emily," she said, not loud, not yet. "You know what I'm talking about." Every eye at the table turned. My mouth went dry. "I am not sure." "You are sure," she snapped, volume rising. "You think I don't notice how you avoid me now, how you won't meet my eyes." That wasn't true. I avoided her because I could feel this coming. "I trusted you," she continued, standing now. "I let you into my home, into my private things." My mother whispered, "Mom, maybe." "No," Grandma barked. "I will not be silent anymore." My hands trembled under the table. "Something precious went missing," she said, "and the only person with access was you." The room felt too small, too bright, my ears rang. "Grandma," I said, my voice barely there, I didn't. She slammed her palm on the table. You always play innocent, she yelled. Wide eyes, quiet voice, poor Emily, but I see through it. I stood up without realizing it. I have no idea about it, I said. The words sounded weak even to me. She laughed, a short, cruel sound. Of course you don't. My cousin gasped. My father stared at his plate. No one defended me. Not one person. I wanted to scream. I wanted to list every sacrifice, every favor, every moment I had shown up when no one else did. Instead, I felt myself shut down. Freeze. Years of conditioning kicked in. If I stayed calm, maybe it would stop. If you took it, Grandma continued, you should return it before this family is torn apart. Torn apart. As if it wasn't already cracking. I didn't take your ring, I said again, louder now, but my voice shook. I swear. Her eyes narrowed. Swearing won't fix betrayal. Something inside me broke. Not loudly, not dramatically. Quietly. I picked up my coat. I think I should go, I said. No one stopped me. As I walked out, I heard murmurs start up behind me. Whispers, speculation. Outside, the cold air burned my lungs. I sat in my car and stared at the steering wheel, hands gripping it like it might anchor me to reality. That was the moment something changed. Not anger. Clarity. They had already decided who I was. No amount of explaining would save me. And for the first time in my life, I wondered what would happen if I stopped being the quiet one. What would happen if I let the truth surface, all of it? Because the ring. I knew something they didn't. And whoever had taken it was sitting comfortably at that table, letting me take the fall. I wiped my eyes, started the engine, and drove away. Thanksgiving wasn't over. It was just beginning. I didn't go home after Thanksgiving. Instead, I drove until the suburbs thinned into long, dark stretches of road, until my hands stopped shaking and my thoughts finally lined up into something sharp and usable. I parked near a closed grocery store and sat there with the engine off, the silence pressing in. They had accused me without evidence. They had watched me be humiliated. And they had done nothing. That was the moment I stopped trying to earn my place in that family. I pulled out my phone, 37 unread messages, most from my mother, a few from my aunt, none from my grandmother. The first voicemail was Mom's, breathless and strained. Emily, please come back. Your grandmother is upset. You know how she gets. Just explain yourself properly. Explain myself. As if I hadn't tried. I deleted the voicemail. The second was from my Aunt Karen. Her tone was softer, almost kind. Sweetheart, if you did take it, you can tell me. We can fix this quietly. That was when I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was horrifying. They weren't asking if I'd taken the ring. They were asking how much trouble it would cause if I admitted it. I drove home then, not to sleep, to think. The emerald ring wasn't just jewelry. It came with a story. Grandma loved telling it. How her grandmother brought it from Europe, how it survived war, poverty, and loss. How it symbolized loyalty, legacy, blood. She used that ring to remind us who mattered. And I knew exactly when it disappeared. 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, during a Sunday lunch. That day replayed in my mind with sudden clarity. Grandma had asked me to help her bring out dessert. In the kitchen, she'd taken the ring off to wash her hands, setting it beside the sink. My cousin Lily had come in moments later, upset, crying about money, about dropping out of school, about feeling like a disappointment. I remembered comforting her. I remembered leaving the kitchen together. And I remembered, clear as day, Lily staying behind. At the time, it meant nothing. Now it meant everything. The next morning, I woke up to a text from my father. Your grandmother didn't sleep. She says the family can't move on until this is resolved. I stared at the words. Resolved. Not apologized. Not truth. Resolved, meaning closed, buried, convenient. I typed back. I didn't take the ring. I'm done defending myself. 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Then nothing. That silence told me more than any argument ever had. I decided to do something I'd never done before. I went back to Grandma Alina's house. Not to apologize. To observe. She wasn't home when I arrived. My Aunt Karen answered the door, surprise flickering across her face. "Oh, Emily, you came back." "I left my scarf here," I lied easily. She hesitated, then stepped aside. "Of course." The house felt different now, less warm, less safe, like a stage after the audience leaves. As Karen went upstairs, I let my eyes roam. The living room bookshelf, unchanged. The china cabinet, locked. The side table by the couch, empty. But then I saw it. The new handbag, sitting near the door. Designer, expensive, very unlike Lily, who was constantly complaining about money. I crouched, pretending to retie my shoe. A flash of green caught my eye. Not the ring, but a velvet jewelry pouch. My heart thudded. Karen came back down the stairs. "Couldn't find your scarf. Are you sure?" "I must have left it in the car," I said quickly, standing. "Thank you." She nodded, relieved. I walked out calmly. But inside, everything was screaming. That night, Lily posted on Instagram. A mirror selfie, new nails, new coat, caption. "Sometimes, you just have to take what you deserve, green heart." Green heart. I stared at it for a long time. I didn't comment. I didn't confront her. I took screenshots. Then I started digging. I remembered something else. Grandma had cameras. Small ones, motion activated. She installed them after a neighbor's break-in. She'd even bragged about them. "They record everything," she'd said proudly. "No one steps foot in this house without me knowing." Everything. Unless the footage had been deleted. I called the one person who might help me. Mark, my ex, and a freelance IT tech who still owed me a favor. "I need access to a security system," I said when he answered. He paused. "That sounds illegal." "It's my grandmother's house." Another pause. "Send me the model number." 2 days later, I sat in my apartment staring at my laptop as files loaded. Video timestamps, motion logs, deleted clips. My breath caught. Someone had accessed the system the night the ring disappeared. User, Lily M. She hadn't just taken the ring. She'd covered it up. I leaned back, pulse racing. I could send this to the family group chat right now, end it, clear my name. But then I remembered Thanksgiving. The silence. The averted eyes. The way they let me walk out alone. No. They didn't deserve a quiet truth. They deserved a reckoning. The next message came from Grandma herself. Short, cold. "If you have something to confess, now is the time." I typed slowly. "I do, but not the way you think." Then I turned my phone face down. It was time to stop freezing. And start planning. Because by the time I was done, they wouldn't just know who took the ring. They'd know exactly who they had underestimated. I didn't rush the ending. That was the difference between the old me and the woman I was becoming. The old Emily would have sent the video files immediately, desperate to clear her name, hoping naively that apologies would follow, hoping someone would say we were wrong. But the new me understood something painful and freeing. Clearing my name wasn't enough. They needed to feel what I felt. So I waited. Grandma Alina called me 3 times that week. I didn't answer. Instead, I watched. Lily's Instagram grew bolder, shopping bags, nights out, vague captions about new beginnings. My Aunt Karen liked every post. My mother avoided my eyes when we crossed paths at the grocery store. And Grandma. She planned a family meeting. A formal one. The invitation came through a group text. "This Sunday, 4 p.m. everyone will attend. We will put an end to this matter." I smiled when I read it. Because yes, we would. Sunday afternoon, I arrived 10 minutes early. Not 5, not on time. Early. The living room was arranged like a courtroom. Chairs pulled into a semicircle. Grandma's high-backed armchair placed dead center. The coffee table cleared as if evidence might be presented. I sat down calmly. Lily avoided my eyes. Grandma entered last, leaning on her cane, expression carved from stone. "We are here," she said, "because a betrayal has poisoned this family." I noticed how easily she still said betrayal while looking at me. Old habits die hard. She continued, "Emily, this is your final chance. Tell us where the ring is." Every face turned toward me. My heart didn't race this time. "I will," I said. A ripple went through the room. "But first," I added, "I'd like everyone to listen without interrupting me, for once." Grandma bristled. "You don't set the rules." "I think I do," I said gently, reaching into my bag. I pulled out my laptop. Silence fell. "I was accused publicly," I said, my voice steady, "without proof. I was humiliated, abandoned, and judged guilty because it was convenient." My mother shifted uncomfortably. So I decided to stop explaining and start verifying. I opened the laptop and turned it so everyone could see. Security footage. Time-stamped. Clear. The screen showed Grandma's kitchen, the sink, the jewelry box, Grandma leaving the room. Then Lily entering. Then Lily pausing. Looking around. Opening the box. Taking the ring. Her hand shaking, not with innocence but fear. Gasps filled the room. "No," Lily whispered. "That's not." I clicked to the next file. System access logs. User, Lily M. Deleted footage, 11:43 p.m. "I didn't just find the truth," I said. "I found the cover-up." Grandma's face drained of color. "That's impossible," she said weakly. I turned to Lily. "Want to explain the velvet pouch in your new handbag?" Lily stood abruptly. "She's lying. She always wanted attention." I played one more clip. An audio recording. Lily's voice, unmistakable. "I just needed it for a while. Grandma has plenty. Emily will take the blame anyway." The room exploded. My Aunt Karen stood up. "Lily, how could you?" My father finally looked at me, really looked, and I saw shame flood his face. My mother began to cry. And Grandma. Grandma stared at Lily like she was a stranger. The ring was recovered that night. Lily didn't apologize to me. She apologized to Grandma. That told me everything. "She's young," Grandma said later, voice trembling. "She made a mistake." I met her eyes. "And I was disposable," I said. Not a question, a statement. Silence. For the first time in my life, Grandma Aliner had nothing to say. I didn't yell. I didn't gloat. I simply stood up. "I'm done," I said, "with being the family shield, with absorbing blame, with earning love." My mother reached for my hand. "Emily, please." "I forgive you," I said softly, "but I won't forget." I walked out with my dignity intact. And something else. Freedom. 6 months later, my life looked different. Quieter. Healthier. Mine. I moved cities, took a promotion I'd been putting off, built friendships that didn't rely on obligation. I heard updates through the grapevine. Lily dropped off the map, no trust fund bailouts anymore. Grandma stopped hosting big family dinners. The family learned what happens when the wrong person is underestimated. As for me, I no longer froze when accused. Because I learned something powerful that Thanksgiving. Silence can protect you, but truth, revealed on your terms, can set you free. And the next time someone looks at me and assumes guilt, I'll smile, because I know exactly who I am. The end.